Hey, are you a business owner, entrepreneur, or professional? If so, we want you to apply to be a featured guest on our show. My name is Adam Torres, and I host the Mission Matters series of podcasts. I've recorded over 3,000 episodes, and we are just getting started. How do you know if you'd be a good guest to be on the show? Well, only one way to find out, and that's to apply, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. We want guests that have a story to tell, guests with a brand, a product, or a service that can benefit my audience of listeners. If this sounds like you, go to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. I'd love to talk to you and get to know more about your story. Again, head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, now let's get into the show. Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of the Mission Matters Money Podcast, your source for all things money. My name is Adam Torres. You can follow me on Instagram at AskAdamTorres to keep up with my book releases and all that other good stuff. And as always, if you'd like to apply to become a guest on the show, just head on over to the website, missionmatters.com, and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, so today I have Chris Davisson on the line, and he's the owner and manager over at Nutcracker Equity. Chris, welcome to the show.
Adam, thank you for your time today.
All right, so I'm excited to get into today's topic. So we will talk about how partnering is really something that can help compound your efforts and really take your business further. And maybe just to get us kicked off, tell us a little bit more about what you're doing over at Nutcracker Equity.
Thanks, Adam. Yes, we're just a real estate investment business. We focus on buy and hold properties. And one of the things we do is find properties dilapidated, need fixed up, buy them and rehab them, and then bring them back to life and rent them out. And what we also do is try to have a ministry where we put people to work who are getting off drugs or homeless or getting out of jail, and try to help them find housing and work. So we kind of model our business with helping, other men get back on their feet, as well as helping properties get fixed up. So that's kind of our mission.
Man, what an amazing story. Love it. And I love when you're combining something like real estate or any other business with a higher calling or mission or purpose. It's just an awesome thing to see. So what areas do you operate in? So, there's some people listening that may want to follow up and learn more about what kind of investments you're doing. What areas do you typically invest in?
Sure. So kind of our home base is, it's funny, my partner bought an old church building, and we're not ministry people at all. We're just a couple of carpenters. We bought an old church building. We meet in Newark, Ohio, which is just east, kind of a bedroom community of Columbus, Ohio. So we work in Columbus, Newark, and Zanesville areas of Ohio. And we do a Bible study every morning for about a half hour. And guys who show up, we try to plug them in and put them to work. So that's kind of what we do in the areas we're in.
Man, that's awesome. Let's go a little bit further into today's topic. So partnering to compound your efforts. So I guess the first thing I have to ask is, how did you and your partner get started in the real estate business?
That's funny because we got started kind of backwards. He bought this church building and was working on properties in Newark. And I'm a contractor and a realtor, and I kind of was doing flips and property maintenance. And we met not with the intention to partner, but just we're both shooting in the same direction. I was doing jail ministry. Guys were in jail. I saw the problem is they would mostly doing drugs or alcohol. When they get out, they just got back on the street or got back to where they were staying and just going back to using and getting back in jail. So he was trying to help guys. I was trying to help guys. So we joined and did this Bible study every morning, put guys to work with the projects he had and I had. I said, why don't we just partner up? So actually he suggested it. So we did about a year ago, and last year we bought 19 houses together, rentals, and fixed them up and got them rented, and it just took off from there. This year our goal is to get 50 properties together, and we're already in contract on 11. So that's kind of how we got started. It just kind of haphazard, but also just kind of took off once it got going.
That's fantastic. And so why is partnering such a priority in your business? Because I know there's some people listening right now that have thought about taking on partners or getting together and doing deals, but maybe they haven't. Like, what's been your experience?
That's a great question. I love partnering. I'm a huge advocate, and I need to write a book about it because I love it so much. There's a saying that, one will kill 1,000 and two will slay 10,000. And I really believe that. Two people's minds and what they do. What you guys do is awesome, I think, on your podcast. Your mission matters. I think you guys do it very well, and your why or your vision is we amplify stories. And I think it's the same thing that we're doing. The platform you guys have, I can see how it brings value and how it really, you are partnering with other people through what you do. I think that's awesome. And just looking at it in your actions with folks, I think partnership's the same. You really got to have a vision. If your partner has the same vision or your why is the same, it's exciting to get around people like that and that energy, and it just feeds off each other. And to me, that's exciting to see that, how it really compounds efforts. And to bring it into kind of a money relationship, the rule of 72, I'm sure a lot of your guests talk about that, just how money doubles, by the rule of 72. I don't want to get into that too much, but I see that as also partnering with what your podcast does. And when you have a partner and you are aligned, like a mastermind of lions, or you're on the same page, that's how things are going to double. And that's what our business did. I went from doing 1 or 2 or 3 flips a year to, like I said, 19 houses last year, and we're going to do 50 properties this year. So that's just why I think that partnering matters, and no matter what you do, is because everybody has different strengths and weaknesses. And when you can bring somebody on who can align with your strengths, but also pick up some of the areas that you're weak in, it can just magnify your efforts.
How do you go about, or what's been your experience in thinking about, how to choose a partner, who's going to be a good fit for you and your business? Like, what are some things that you look for?
I think part of it is, that's a great question. Part of it is your why. What are you really trying to do? What do you want to do as your business? What is it you want to achieve? What's your end game? Because your why doesn't change. I know you've had guests talk about that, your vision, mission statement before, but that doesn't change. But the how and the what can change. So as long as you have a clear picture of what you're doing, what you want to do, your why, your vision, then having somebody who aligns with that. My partner and I were just wanting to help guys out and provide housing and work. And that's our why. And also give to other ministries to spread the gospel. Our goal is to know Christ and to make him known. And we're not ashamed of that. And that's what we want to partner with other people who want to do that. And by doing that, we're all on the same page. Now it's just a matter of what we're going to do and how we're going to do it. So I think that fits any business model. So once you have your why or your vision, then you're going to find other folks naturally, I believe, who align with that. And then what you want to do, your business, and how you want to do it is simply finding a mentor or somebody who's already doing it to compound your efforts. And then just talking to that person of lunch, appointments, breakfast, whatever, just to have coffee, and then find somebody who's doing it, and then you doing it with them. If you're just getting started, we'll just get your business accelerated. But you obviously have to bring value, and that is doing simple errands is how I started out with people, doing jobs for free for people. So there's 100 ways to go about it, but I really want to focus, I think, why in your vision is going to help you determine who you partner with. So.
And I think, and you're definitely practicing what you preach on this one, because I know outside of even real estate, like you have some other things that you're looking at doing internationally, and you're an active guy. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So really have a heart for others. And I think just people talk about being social responsible or your mission in life. I mean, if this is all there is in life, just to make money and get rich and buy cars and to have houses, that's pretty empty or shallow, and that's okay if that's your goal. I mean, that propels you, but I think it's by what we've been good stewards of. And I think the principle of talents, I really like that, what we've been given, we'll give a bit more as we're responsible for it. And if you're not responsible with a little bit of stuff, especially getting started in a business, if you're not accountable and truthful, and it's not a win-win scenario in every deal, you're not going to get more. It's just not going to happen. But when you are responsible and it's a win-win, everything you do, it'll multiply. So we see us as just being good stewards of what we have. We have 72 properties, my partner and I combined, that we own. And we could comfortably live off of what we have if we manage it, maintain it, pay it off, and we'd be fine. But we have a huge goal of, $100 million in assets, 1,000 properties. But the goal is to get that stuff to be able to give it away, to be better stewards. So I think people want to be involved. They want to be part of what we're doing. And we love mentoring with younger investors who are getting started, who are growing their business, and we want to compound their efforts and in turn help us to achieve our goals. And it's just a win-win across the board. So what we're doing is we're partnering with folks in Nepal. We're looking to do microloans and to do more of it and to see just businesses flourish there. Because $100 here would even buy you a nice steak dinner in a lot of places. Over there, I could start a business, I could buy 40 chickens, and that can propel a family to become impoverished to being wealthy over there in Nepal. Also, we're seeking to build clinics in Central America. It takes about $35,000 to build, fund, and to staff a clinic in a place where there's no medical care within 50 to 100 miles. So for us, those things are super exciting to us with little to no money out of pocket, but it can have a major, major impact. So those are things that are part of our why or our vision.
Do you work with other investors? So do you take outside assets or things like that? Because this is a money show, so there's always people looking for different deals. Do you work with outside investors?
We do, and one of the things is we were so short-sighted in the beginning, but we limited ourselves. We had cash because we had properties. We've been in business for about 40 years combined, so we had properties. And we weren't leveraging things well at all. We were just two carpenters, to be honest with you, a couple guys that swung hammers, and we were fixing up houses. We knew houses. I was a realtor. I knew the area. So we found tons of off-market deals, and we just, in our mind, we were killing it. But then when we really started to grow is when we took people, saw what we were doing, and wanted to work with us. And at first, we didn't want to partner. We just wanted to do our thing. But we saw how short-sighted it was, and we started to hear guests like on your show. Hunter Thompson's got a great book, Raising Private Capital. Great book, and I saw and heard the podcast on your show, and it really opened our eyes up to see that why not bring people in who align with what we want to do, our vision, work with them passively. They don't want to get their hands dirty, but we can do it. And then when we started doing that and raising private capital with promissory notes and passive investing, things just started to mushroom for us and take off. And to us, it was super exciting just to watch it all happen.
And that is exciting. I love to hear it. And what a great success story this is, Chris. And really, it's been a pleasure having you on the show, and really excited to bring the topic to my audience, because I'm a big proponent of partnering. And when I think about like my business partner, Shirag, the other half, like I don't know how people do it without having like those other business partners. Like I couldn't do it. Let's put it that way. So that was always my what my missing link was. And once myself and my business partner Shirag partnered together on this business, I mean, that's when it really took off for us. So I'm glad to see all the success that you're having. So Chris, if somebody is listening to this and they want to learn more about Nutcracker Equity, or they want to reach out or connect with you, what's the best way for them to do that?
So a couple things. I just want to back up. It's a great question. We are a couple of hammer swingers, so we're not tech savvy, but we're working on it real hard. Our website is Nutcracker, like the ballet, nutcrackeroh.com. So you can go on there. There's links to passive investing, some more info, but it's kind of a basic website. But what we do is not basic. It's pretty compound and pretty dynamic. But once again, we're just kind of getting going and understanding how to compound, how to partner, and how to use leverage. But I think we're real successful at it. We just got to do a better job of sharing it. So that's how people can connect with us.
Fantastic. Well, Chris, really appreciate you coming on the show today and sharing more about your background and all the great stuff that you're doing over at Nutcracker Equity. And to the audience, as always, thank you for tuning in. Hope you got a lot of value out of this. If you did, don't forget, hit that subscribe button. Definitely love to have you be a return listener, and we have many more great guests just like Chris coming on for you. Chris, thanks again for coming on. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, Adam.